Hello, hello. Oh, this might be the last stream of Slime Rancher 2, who knows? It depends on whether these treasure pods and shadow plort collectors are going to be absolutely mean to me and bully me and just decide not to exist in my field of view. By that I mean I'm probably just going to be oblivious to them, if that's the case. But we'll figure it out. It's certainly not an unusual experience for me. I have slightly lost my mind just a tiny bit during early access doing a very similar process. Though that was happening much more frequently. I seem to have remembered pretty darn well where almost all of the treasure pods are. Because we're only missing 2 treasure pods, and then Grey Labyrinth, I give myself a little more leeway on not knowing where stuff is, because that was added super late into the early access timeline. And I also did not spend as much time there as a result. Compared to basically every other area, Powderfall Bluffs kind of falls into a similar range because it wasn't present in the game when it first released into early access. So I basically have an excuse for both of them. But ultimately only missing 4 things out of the entire game is not too bad. Not too bad at all. So let's load on in here. And I can show y'all where we're at resource-wise. Yeah, very close to completion. I mean, I haven't really emphasized the Slimepedia very much. There are probably a lot of super easy entries, like different chicken types and stuff, that I just haven't interacted with because they weren't part of my ranching strategy. But let's start with the easy part. Let's just look at the numbers. I'm starting to get some pretty decent reserves built up for different plort types. I haven't been selling anything except for honey plorts since we now have those full, which shouldn't be much of a surprise. We have honey slimes literally everywhere on the ranch. But may I draw your attention to the 999 shadow plorts just quietly sitting here in the refinery. We won't have to worry about them as a material resource anymore. Especially because we also have the 3 stacks of 100 in here and another 2 stacks of 100 over here. So we're pretty good. We're pretty good on shadow plorts. I can kind of show you what my strategy was. It's basically what we were doing before with the shadow pots, but I can at least show my process that I went through, just the back and forth loop that I used to make it an easier process. I did also grab a couple of rounds of Prisma plorts. I have not put any of them in the refinery, but we have the 2 stacks here, and then we have another stack of 100, and then a partial of 19. So we have a pretty decent cache of those too. I also found another gold slime, got another gold plort. Just happened to find that while I was going around. Because what I also did ranch-wise, this is the only other thing I really changed about the ranch at all. Because like I said, I didn't want to use the resources I farmed off stream. I just wanted to farm the resources themselves, then we can use them all together. What I did was I went out and got a second slime for each of the corrals that only had 1. They only had one Largo slime in them. Except for obvious reasons. For the hunter slime. I mean the ringtail. I always get them mixed up, name-wise. The hunter slimes, they already had two, so they were fine. And the ringtail slimes just... He's enough on his own. I'm sure you understand. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I did on the ranch. I didn't even make market links or anything. All I did was refill the warp depots so that they're nice and filled up. And just kept depositing plorts into the refinery so that we'd have them to work with. And that's why we only have 21,600 new bucks right now. Is because I've only been selling honey plorts, and even that I haven't been doing for a terribly long time. But I see that we have the resources for this tank booster, so I would like to get that. We need 25 Prisma plorts and 5 more dream bubbles. Okay. Are there any other upgrades we could work with that would be useful? We could get the regenerator upgrade. We just need to toss in 10 Prisma plorts. Actually, how expensive is that upgrade? Because I just noticed 15,000 of my new bucks are gone, and so is my pinned recipe. Where did it go? Mystery surprise. Let's pin that in place. Okay, 5,000 new bucks. We can afford that then. Let's go toss in some Prisma plorts. Just fill up my fruit carrying slot there. Let's grab 10 of these. Toss them in the refinery. And we'll go get ourselves a regenerator upgrade. So it increases the rate of energy regeneration to 46 per second. I don't know what our base value is. Let's see what the upgrade tooltip says here once we've upgraded to see how much of a difference it makes. So instead of 46, it now says 52. Okay, so I'm guessing we have a 40 regeneration per second by default, because then we go to 46 and then we go to 52. That's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Just make the energy regeneration a little snappier, which is nice. Besides all of that, I wanted to show what my strategy was for getting shadow plorts, since that's something I know a lot of people, that's the reason they had the shadow jars included in the first place. So I thought it would be valuable to show what my process is for farming them up, because you remember last time I didn't have very many shadow plorts in the refinery, and now I have it maxed out. So it may take a little bit of time, but I have a pretty decently consistent strategy that works well, especially with a teleporter. But you don't necessarily need one. It's just convenient to be able to come back here and cache stuff in. But you can have this be self-contained without using a teleporter if you want to. But let me show you the loop real quick. Just so that if you are having trouble getting shadow plorts for yourself, hopefully this loop can help a little bit. Of course, there's the random regular spawns of shadow slimes if you want to just get them the normal way. Just kind of shoot stuff at them while they're out and about. What I like to do is I come in here, I check this corner because there's a jar spawn there. So sometimes a shadow jar will show up in here, which is pretty good to check. Basically, yeah, it comes down to checking the different spots that jars can spawn and just trying to find shadow jars. Because every time you leave the area via the teleporter and then come back, it resets what jars are spawned in the area, even if you've already interacted with them. So if I were to go through the teleporter and come back, this spot right here would run another random jar spawn to see whether one should spawn here or not. So that's basically what the strategy hinges around. Yeah, so I come over here, I check this spot here for any shadow jars. I go over here, there's 2 spots here. You can spawn a jar here or here, or both at the same time. Come through here. Here's a jar spawn, you can see that right there. Now whenever I find a shadow jar, I usually just bring it back to this corner and gently place it on the ground there. So we will be coming back to this hallway. Hey buddy, how's it going? Now what I like to do from here is I go up to this little ledge, and then I go up here to this rock face, then I go to this rock face, and you can come up here. There's a jar spawn up here. There's a jar spawn over here next to this nest. There's a jar spawn over here next to this other nest. And there's a jar spawn right over here next to the third nest. And then to finish it off, there are 2 jar spawn spots on either side of this shadow plort collector. So normally what I like to do is I like to have at least 2 shadow jars. I fill this space, I just kind of cover the floor with whatever material I have. I was using tin petals because we're full on tin petals. So I was just using those as a throwaway resource I could cover the floor with. Basically, you do that, you toss out the shadow slimes, and then just try and vacuum them down into the floor as much as possible. And I find having 2 or more shadow jars at once is very helpful, just because they do a better job at crowding each other back down toward the ground. So they end up hitting the floor covering resources more frequently. You get 3 more prismaplorts here if I can find a way to stabilize them. That'll work. But that's generally the strategy that I've been using. And then just for convenience's sake, I also had set up a temporary refinery link just right here, so that if I had an excess of shadow plorts, I could just deposit them without having to go all the way back to the ranch to do so. I know I just demonstrated it with only 1 shadow jar, but what I would do is if I only had 1 shadow jar, what I would do is I would carry it with me through the teleporter. You remember how we were able to carry it to the other side? I accidentally found that out on a previous stream. What I would do is take the shadow jar, go through the teleporter, and then go back through the teleporter to the labyrinth again. That way, your shadow jar doesn't get despawned. And you can also look for new shadow jars, because it'll reroll the spawn chances here. Bless. I got so distracted by my real life cat meowing, I like didn't even register. Hello? Bless. Thank you for the 16 kibble nibbles. This is the first time I've gotten a Ko-fi donation on a stream. My goodness. They didn't give the option for anonymity. No. Yeah, I feel like that is probably something that would be good to add. I know they do that. I know they do that for charity donations, like Tiltify. Whenever I work with them, they do that. But thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't ever mention the Ko-fi donation stuff because that's not really the main focus of why I'm here. But I guess I'm mentioning it now because it is part of what I have set up and it has been utilized. Thank you for the cozy haven. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Y'all are what makes this place as cozy as it is. Because otherwise it would just be me playing games like I usually do. Y'all add something special to the experience. Oh goodness, I need a moment. I was so distracted because my cat, well, Livy specifically, has been getting pointedly more vocal recently. You've heard them meowing on the stream before. They've gotten maybe twice as frequent and noisy with that, to the point where they basically could be an alarm on my phone. They're like, she's definitely one of the more sort of I'll sit near you but don't touch me kind of cats for the most part. Unless they're here in the office, in which case they are a very happy lap cat. But boy, do they have a pair of lungs on them. I would like to have them in the office more frequently, because Livy is very well behaved and generally just sits on my lap no problem. The issue is that there is not just one cat here in the house. So if Goose sees that Livy is being let into the office, they're immediately like, hey, I want to come in too. Let me in here too. Don't leave me out here. And I feel bad because it's like, I don't want to have it only be like, oh, I can only have one of you in here. The other one, just good luck. Good luck being out there on your own, I guess. I don't like doing that. So oftentimes it ends up being neither of them, unless I can specifically go out of my way to stop what I'm doing and attempt to have them both in here at the same time. But that in itself can be a challenge, because Goose is not as keen on the whole concept of just chilling out. Not nearly as much as Livy does, at least. So that does present a challenge when trying to have them both in here. Livy still does a pretty good job of settling. Goose, not so much. It is kind of a coin flip whether or not they're going to actually lay down, or if they're just going to be walking back and forth across me, just looking around for something to do. And this is even after I've had some playtime with them or something like that. They're just not quite as lap cat oriented, it seems. So it is challenging to have them both in here, because one of them does a very good job. One of them is very cooperative. The other one just kind of wants to wander around. And that's not something I feel comfortable letting them do in this office. Just because there are things in here that if they got into could cause more than a little bit of messy trouble. Not the least of which being, the cords that connect to my PC and the cords that connect to my fiance's PC. So, there's all that to consider. Yeah, our comm station is completely full because I didn't want to look at these either, just in case some story stuff came up, possibly. But also just because I didn't know if there would be new dialogue, period. So I figured I'd wait until the stream. But now we have a backlog where literally everyone is hitting me up. So we'll work our way down the line in a moment. But yeah, that's why Livy is usually yelling at the door when I'm streaming, because it's like they hear me talking in here and it's like, hey, what are you doing? I want to be in that room. That's like there aren't very many opportunities where Goose is not aware of Livy's entrance to the office. Because there have been a couple of times where I'm able to, while Goose is out on the cat tree, they're just totally passed out, I can have Livy in the office and she just sits on my lap and it's totally fine. Because Goose is already asleep, they don't know any different. So they're totally fine. In that specific scenario, it works out. But they do get a little bit saddened if it's only Livy allowed in the office and then they don't get to come in with them. If there is chaos to cause, chaos will be caused. Generally seems that way, yeah. And that's a standard house cat experience, it seems like. It's more likely than not. I have had to start figuring out how to secure kitchen cabinet doors, at least at ground level. Because they have gotten in a couple of times, and there are some things in there I don't necessarily want them to be near. I wouldn't say there's something that it would probably be immediately threatening to them if they were in proximity of it. But it's one of those better safe than sorry kind of things. Also, just not having them accidentally shut themselves in somehow or something like that. So I've been working on figuring that whole process out. Also, hello, Toon. Welcome on in. We were just about to talk to literally every character on the comm station. Thank you for the attention flag, Victor. Very cool. Good old Mochi. Gave us the ability to create rounded magma pools. Okay, okay. I could think of a spot we could put that. Ooh, we got another, yeah, like a flower bush. Okay. Don't remember if we've gotten one of these before. I'll have to see if we can find a good spot for it. Oh, seeing Thora West is so different now after finishing the game. It's so different now. Oh, goodness. Oh, rainbow lump rocks. Okay. Okay. So we got some stuff to put down. Let's see what we've got. Let me take a look at these. Rainbow lumps. Oh, yeah, they've got a little bit of the chromatic shift going on. They do an occasional chromatic shift. Okay. I don't know where to put these, is the thing about it, though. Where does one put prismatic rocks? Subtly prismatic rocks, too. Trying to think where's a good spot. Gosh, I don't know. Because they're very specifically rounded as well. They don't quite match the more angular rocks that we find closer to ground level. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I really have a good spot for these. Not gonna worry about it too much. Oh, we do have flowers up here, okay. Well, maybe. Honestly, I do think one mod I would probably put on is one that lets me freely place gadgets without the strict placement limitations. Okay, we'll just fill this ledge out with a little bit of flowering. That seems good. Since I can't put a matching set of flowers on the opposite side. This shrub is kind of occupying that space. So yeah, that should be good. Just something to help fill out that ledge there. Still waiting for a couple more patches of rainbow grass to finish off this little area. But no worries. It will happen when it does. Okay. I think it is treasure pod time. I'm gonna pull up my personal map markings here. Get this pulled up. Okay. So I do already see a couple of spots that I think would be a good idea to check. Just some things that kind of catch my attention right away that seem like particularly blank areas. So I figure we probably pay more attention to those areas when we get to them. But I'm not going to do the thing that I've started doing in the Grey Labyrinth, which was just kind of running through an area to get to the place I know I wanted to go. I want to actually try and take a more methodical approach to this like I usually do, and not skip around a bunch. Because I know we have this one. I don't remember where this ledge leads to anything, or if it's just kind of here. Seems like it's just kind of here. I don't remember what the purpose of that ledge is, going to be honest. How are we all? Are we warm? Slimy? I personally am not slimy. Thankfully, I wouldn't be very comfortable if I was. But warm enough. We are starting to get a bit more of a dip in temperature again. Thankfully not as extreme as the one we had last week. Or the week before, whichever one it was. But it is getting a decent bit colder again. I was wondering if I could push myself up here. Just barely can't get up there. That's fine. I don't worry about forcing myself into that specific area. So I guess we just start exploring. Just gotta check every nook and cranny. So if we're out here hunting for treasure pods, might as well do it thoroughly. So that initial opening area seems okay. Figure while we're around this area, I might as well check the top area here, just in case there's anything tucked away, since this particular segment of the map does seem a little bit bare, aside from the one treasure pod out back. There's the hole to fall back through. Thinking about starting a fire outside, that sounds warm. I would not want to go, I do not want to go outside right now. Just straight up, it is... Air temperature's not terrible, but we did get some wind. The wind just makes everything so much worse for being outside in any capacity right now. So the moment the wind starts picking up, I'm like, no, I don't want to be out there. You can't make me. Not on a weekend anyway. Our wind is tolerable today. Under 10 miles per hour, not too frigid. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, we didn't have a ton of wind here either. It's just the past night or two we had some gusts come through, and that did not feel pleasant. I was not a huge fan of that. But I'm bundled up enough at this point that it's definitely manageable. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not at risk of developing frostbite or anything like that. I'm just not gonna be happy about it. It's just not gonna feel great. It's not my comfort temperature. That's essentially what it kind of boils down to. Let me up. Okay. Seems like Olivia is very vocal today. I don't know how much is getting picked up on the mic so far, but I would assume it's a non-zero amount. And I was thinking about bringing them in basically right at the start of the stream, but at that point Goose was very much awake and present in the area too. I didn't want them getting jealous of Livy being able to come into the office. I mean, I try to make it clear to them what the expectation is. If they're coming into the office, they've got to be in a certain place. Otherwise, they are gonna be heading back out. I will say, to Goose's credit, when they do start getting a little too antsy and they need to leave the office, they usually don't make too big a stink about it after they've left the office. Whereas Livy is definitely more vocal about it. It's like Livy just seems like they want to be around somebody pretty frequently. And it seems like they get their enjoyment from proximity to the people that they care about. Goose is a lot more physically affectionate. They are very much the cat you can pet anytime and they basically don't care kind of thing. Or they'll even lean into it. That sort of thing. It is unfortunate that I can't have them both in here at the same time. Because it's like, I want to be able to just let them do their thing, but this room is definitely not built for letting cats do their own thing. Are you familiar with Cats the Musical? I would have to say no, I'm not familiar with it. I basically know that it exists. That's about as far as I would say I am familiar with it. I'm familiar with the existence of it. We'll put it that way. Let's see what's around here. This is the treasure pod hunting process. Just go around to each area and look everywhere, basically. I'm gonna check behind the waterfall just to see if there's anything down there. We'll get there in a moment, though. I want to make sure I do a full fly around, because we've been in there, I know that. Yeah, we can go in there real quick. Doesn't look like there's anything else on the side here. Because I know up here was a treasure pod, we got that. So that should have this area pretty well settled. Need to familiarize yourself with one rum tum tugger, that's for sure. I'm not happy with whatever you put me through, whether I wanted it or not. Oh yeah, that seems like a very cat attitude, for sure. Just like, I don't care if I was the one who basically implied that I wanted to engage in this activity. I've decided now, at this very moment, that I don't want to engage with it anymore, so it's your fault for doing it. And I'm going to be personally offended at you. Very much a cat experience, 100%. Thankfully, our cats are generally really well behaved. They have not really gotten into very much trouble so far. And I know that's just asking for trouble to happen. But overall, considering how little difficulty we had during their more high energy kitten time, honestly, I'm counting my blessings that more things have not been absolutely shredded to pieces or something like that. Now, the mountain seems pretty clear. I think I want to drop down and check this waterfall. See if there's anything behind it, because I don't remember if there is. I don't see any secret entrances. Okay. Just a waterfall. Very normal. I'm gonna collect these puddle plorts though, because I did make one small change to pre-established drone setups. I only changed the location of one of them, the one that's here in the Powderfall Bluffs, because we were pretty close to full on the perfect snowflakes, if I remember correctly, and I wanted to gather slime fossils instead, so I needed to move the drone to a new location to be able to actually have it collect that resource. While we're in the neighborhood, I might as well refuel it. This is probably gonna need refueling anyway. Just kind of taking a look around here from the top down and sort of circling inward. Oh, another waterfall. I think I remember this one does link up to the cave below. Just want to make sure that I fully checked this upper area. I'm not missing any little hidden nooks or crannies or something close to ground level here. Nothing hidden behind that waterfall either. Just gotta make sure. I let my outside kitties into the greenhouse during the last freeze. Yeah, I remember you saying that. Because of the heat lamp situation. Knocked down every single potted plant. They're no longer invited into the greenhouse. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you in the slightest for not wanting to let them back in. Because, yeah. Oof. Those poor plants. They're not exactly prepared for such a scenario. Before I go into the cave, I would like to just do a quick look around of this little section. Just up to the mouth of this area here. Alright, I've interacted with both of these, so that's fine. There's that treasure pod in the center. I'm trying to make sure that I don't think too specifically horizontally in terms of treasure pod locations. I also have to consider that verticality is a possibility. So just because there's a treasure pod right there doesn't mean that I automatically have to travel horizontal distance to find another one. There might be more in the caves directly below or something like that. I just have to remind myself of that possibility. Try not to overlook it. Can't get up there. I've set them up a new place in the barn. Yeah, that'll probably work out better for them. Yeah, hopefully they stay warm enough. Got this one here. The geyser that leads back up top. And here is where I have the drones set up right now. I moved them into this cave that has a bunch of different lime fossil resource node spots. And since I'm here with a bunch of free range acquired plorts, I can just use those to fuel this up. Look at that, 440%. He's not gonna need fuel for a good long time now. Okay, I want to start from the top, work my way down, because that's easier than having to try and work my way up while simultaneously looking around. See, we got this one that's in here. Yeah, happy little drone doing their happy little task. The soundtrack for this game is definitely not helping me stay awake, I will say that much. The soundtrack is very much just the kind of music that really takes its time. Did I? Oh, right. research drones in this place don't have they don't have archives. Okay, we got the treasure pod there, so there's 2 treasure pods in this one room. That's probably all of them, I would think. Hey, look. See, like, there's a pretty easy Slimepedia entry that I just didn't have because I'd never vacked up a briar chick. Like, that's it. It's just that simple sometimes. Take all of these plorts, thank you very much. Oh, I want to go up. I did not get to go up. It's fine. Let's go up here. This room seems like it's fine. There's nothing else for us to find in there. Ooh. Cheeky little diamond spawn there. And this takes us back out to here. Okay, okay. Seems good. Let's start looking over in the forested area now. Oh, look, there's one. It's just right here. How about that? Well, let's take a screenshot. Like, sometimes it's also just that simple. Doesn't need to be anything super crazy hidden. It's just, did I look at this ledge? Did I look at this ledge that's over here at this edge of the map? Turns out in this case, no, I did not. To navigate back over to my Powderfall Bluffs screenshots that I've not engaged with for a good long time now. We can finally add number 23. Into there. Alright, let's see what's inside. Is it something incredibly useful I would have liked to have earlier? Ooh. Majestic snowflake decoration. That's a touch of serenity. Yeah, I'd say that checks out. Oh. Something tells me we might need more than a touch of serenity with what's going on here right now. Oh, buddy. Ooh, hello. And goodbye. Hello, goodbye. Hello, goodbye. I mean, there's all these plorts hanging around. I might as well just pick them up. Oh, it's getting a little dicey out here. It's a lucky slime down there. Okay, we got that treasure pod that's down there. There's just take a gentle glide around. I don't see any passages behind that waterfall. It's kind of partially parted anyway. We do have a little bit of time to work with these Aurora bridges though. So I might take this opportunity to check this cliffside real quick, since it's easier to reach this way. Didn't see anything on the way up. So I think that should be fine. We got this treasure pod up here on this big square pillar. We found one down there on that ledge. I think there's anything else immediately around here. I don't know if they'd tuck away a treasure pod on any of this ice up here. No, we got this one over here. I did want to take a look closer to the back side of this area, just in case there was something I missed over here. Tingle's hat from Breath of the Wild. I don't remember, gosh, it's been so long since I played that game, I don't remember what that does. I assume some form of treasure chest proximity detection. That would be my guess. Alert you to Korok seeds, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Gosh, I do not remember if I ever got that or not. Like I said, it's been so long since I played Breath of the Wild. I mean, even Tears of the Kingdom, it's been a good amount of time. I don't see any treasure pods around here. I think if we've got one up top there already, I don't think they'd have any other ones tucked around here. These doesn't look like they do. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good here. Have I been out to that? Yes, I have. Okay. I was wondering if I'd been out here, but we found the treasure pod there already. So no worries on that front. We have this area. There's that treasure pod. Yep. Got that one already. Don't even need to worry about it. Let's keep exploring this forested area. because I didn't really get a super good look at everything here. Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Water and water
Oh, no.
and water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water, water and water and water and water, water and water, water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water, water and water, water, water and water and water, water, water and water and water, 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 water and water and water, water, water and water and water, water.
Oh, oh. How much of that water made it into my mouth? I don't know. There's so much of it, I can't keep track of it all. Oh boy. Wowee. So much water. I'll be hydrated forever. Oh boy. No, it's fine. I put the redeem there, it's okay. I can handle the water and water and water. I mean, think of it this way, if I wasn't fine with it, it wouldn't be there. It being a present and available option means that it is okay. It is not waterboarding. It is what it says on the tin, super hydration. Oh, some sun sap. I think I'll take that over a diamond. Please and thank you. Oh wow, another one. And there's that treasure pot I already got way over there. Just hanging out there. I have to make sure the duckies have a soft spot to land. Oh, whoa, another sunset. Hello? Wait, was that the same one? Okay, it's still shining. That's what threw me off. I don't know why it's still glistening, I guess. Glistening? Shimmering? We can get rid of the pink plorts. I do want the diamond more than those. We've got plenty of pink plorts. I'm willing to make that trade. Now over there, we've already found... Let's see... We found a treasure pod on the big island, but then there's also... We found one of the ghostly drones out there. And also out here we had another treasure pod. So I think this area should be okay. But we are running out of spots to check. So it won't be terribly long now before I am out of ideas on where to search. So we'll be making our way over there soon enough, I'm sure, because we already have this one. I feel like this treasure pod is going to end up being something similar to the first one we found on this stream, where it's just one particular ledge on one particular cliffside that I just happened to not kind of fly around and notice. Oh, more sun sap. Sure. I'll take it. Boy, that shines from really far away. Those sparkles, are those sparkles new? I don't remember them being that shiny. That feels maybe like something they added. They might have added some extra sparkles to that on the full release. Probably because they blend in with the trees as much as they do. Because I do not remember. What I do remember, I will say, is that Sunsap was very difficult for me to find in the early access. It just was not happening. Okay, that's that treasure pod. That's where this whole path kind of leads through to. That is fair. I love how there's tar slimes around, but the game just doesn't want to play that music. It's just like, nah, it's just one or two tar slimes, it's fine. Like, don't even worry about it. Oh gosh, those sparkles are quite prominent, especially at a distance. Like, the size of them doesn't really change. That's crazy. What? What? Why are they so shiny now? That's wild. Alright, since I can't think of any other immediate spots to check, might as well head over here. See what we can spot, because this one was in this underneath area, wasn't it? It was like in there. Yeah, right here. Okay. So that's where this one was located. Maybe there's one? Maybe there's one further up somewhere? In a more elevated position, since there's not a ton of horizontal space to get farther away from that treasure pod. Maybe verticality? These guys are getting a little spicy out here. Waterboarding is such a flexible term. Seems like it could apply to wakeboarding, surfing, or less fun things. Yeah, it is pretty open-ended interpretation, I suppose. If you take it at its more literal... What would the term be? Etymological? Kind of deconstruction? Where it's like, yes, water and board. Slime fossils out here, but no treasure pods. Hold on. See, I know I've already been up here before doing this similar kind of search for the treasure pods, just to see if there were any other ones out here. And I really don't see any other spot for one to be hiding. think it's just the one underneath. In that sort of tunnel space there. I think that's the only one over here. I certainly don't see any other spots for there to be another treasure pod hidden out here. For what that's worth. Where does that leave for me to check then? Let me look at my map and see if there's any other spot that would be useful to check. I think I want to go back to the caves, maybe. That's the only other spot I can really see on the map where there is a distinct lack of treasure pod markings. It's very sparse over there by the caves. So we got the one in here. Let me just cross-reference. So yeah, this cave we had a bunch. We had a bunch of them in here. It's mainly down this way that there's just nothing. Because I'm pretty sure the treasure pod that was here, there's like a marking here. I think that one was up above. Unless I'm misremembering, in which case it's good for me to reconfirm. So let's see, this should be, yeah, we just go straight ahead. There should be, where are these other caves? It should be to the right. Is it below? Is there a different exit that I'm missing here? Maybe it's down below me here. Yeah, I think this... Where is it? Oh, where is it? Not often I have a navigational difficulty. But I'm having it here. I'm trying to find this little channel here. Like, where is that? It's like right up here. It's like right here. But where? I don't think there's any further below me, is there? No, that's all solid ice. Where is this passageway? It's like if I back up, like there's absolutely a passageway there. And that should lead me to the big slope that's meant to be a one-way exit back to the entrance portal. I didn't see anything over here as an alternate exit to this place. Maybe somehow it's further above? I mean, it's the only direction I haven't checked yet. Doesn't necessarily make a ton of sense that it would be up here, but I don't know where else to look. I guess one other thing I could try dropping down through the hole in the top of the cave here and try to use my initial starting height that I'm jumping from to use my jetpack to gain more height than I'd normally be able to for that specific part. But where even is that? Okay, it's in there. If I start from up here, maybe. The other thing I could do is I could try getting a Largo slime, like you for instance, and just use that to push me up. That's all I needed, I guess. But I want to look around in here because this feels very largely unexplored for me. And it wouldn't surprise me if there is a treasure pod in here that I've just managed to overlook every time I've been in here. It's a very seldom number of times that I have. I also want to see, where does this connect? So we have that treasure pod. Where is this connection coming from? This feels like a whole chain of rooms I've only been in a handful of times. Let me stay focused on this room for a moment before I start running off again. I just want to make sure I've looked at this room properly from top to bottom. There's this random water pit. That is fine. Okay, I don't see any treasure pods in here. I feel confident to move on, especially since we do have the treasure pod immediately adjacent in the next room over. So if that one is there on the map, let me take a look. Yeah, this is where the layering of the map starts to get a little funky. So this one's technically... Oh, hello? I will trade a strange diamond for a gold plort, thank you. Absolutely. Yes, please. 100% I will take that. So if I'm walking up here, I'm trying to compare, because there's a treasure pod that's above ground up there. So this one is the one that's right here. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So that's there. I'm just trying to cross-reference the map as I'm walking around. So there should be a treasure pod that I've already found. Pretty nearby. That's the one that's on the ledge. Okay. It's the one that's on the ledge outside. We just got this funny little ledge right here, I guess. maybe in a moment we check that Aurora Bridge. Because I think we've only done that once, and I don't remember how that connects to anything. There's this treasure pod, which is there. Okay. I see, I see. Now we have the Aurora Bridge. I can use this to check around here. A lot of chickens. That open. Ah, yeah, there's that treasure pod. Okay. Where are we on the map right now? That is here. Okay. And now we're back in this room. Yeah, that connection chain was not how I expected it to turn out at all. I do not know why this is here. I'm just gonna say that I don't understand this little part being connected because it sure doesn't seem like it is. Maybe I'm just missing something. Might be that it does make sense, just not from the angle that I'm viewing it from. I do want to go back outside though. And I do want to check around the outside of... Ugh. Oh, oh, they clipped me into the pillar. They clipped me into the pillar. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. Oh, that's a new one. I've never had them push me into the pillar before. Oof. Oof. Oh. Oh no. Reality is falling apart. Oh. Oh no. I gotta get out of here. What on earth? Oh, that was funky. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been shoved through collision like that before. That's definitely a new one. What a fun little experience. I haven't taken a proper look around the outside of this area yet. So I wanted to come over here and check it out. Just because there is a lot. There's a lot of ledge over here. Or not much being on it. Strange. Oh boy. Now we're back to here. And so the cycle begins anew. Of course, it comes down to one final treasure pod that I just don't know the location of. I haven't heard anything either. Because now that they make noises, that is also something to be mindful of, and I haven't heard any Haven't heard any funny little twinkly sounds to warn me of a nearby treasure pod that I haven't opened. I'm just not sure where else to check. At this point, I've been pretty much everywhere. So the only remaining question is, where haven't I already been? So that seems like about the only really likely spot to find something now. I have to figure out, where are the places I didn't already look? There's something out here. Don't see anything out that far. We got that one on the cliffside there. Do these waterfalls have anything behind them? I don't see anything there. No, it doesn't look like it. I do kind of want to check the forested area again. Just feels like there's not quite as many markings out here, and there could be. Might as well wait for the snow to melt, try again later. Who knows if that'll ever happen. This certainly doesn't seem like the area that will ever have its snow melt, because the weather is literally always snow. "100% chance of snow at all hours of all days, now and forever." You can see the... Why can you see it from so far away? The little sparkle. It's so bright. That is wild. You can see the sparkles from that far away. Boy, they really did not want people missing the sun sap, huh? That is... That's over here, I think. Yeah, that's all the way over there. It's like on a tree right here. You can see it from so far away as long as you have line of sight. That's crazy far. That makes a huge difference in looking for the sun sap, I will say that much. That is quite something. Okay, so we have the treasure pod that's down here. I want to look toward this side. I just really want to make sure that I'm not missing some sort of down low treasure pod or something. Just sort of tucked away in an obscure corner or something. I don't see anything out here. Well, dang, I I don't know where else to look then. I've checked just about everywhere I could think it would be. And then some. I don't think it's gonna be out that far. Where else to look is the question. Let me take a more critical look at this map. Where have I already been? I'm really trying to rack my brain for this one. I think I want to go back to the mountain. I feel like I remember having this experience in the early access too, where it's like, this feels super barren. Like there's just no markings anywhere around this specific section of the map. And that feels weird to me, to have just such a giant, open, unmarked area like that. It just feels like there's gotta be something there. But I suppose that is a bit of a logical fallacy. Just because there's a gap in the map markings does not automatically mean that there has to be something of interest to mark there to make it more symmetrical, I guess. To make it more evenly dispersed. Nothing that says that has to be the case. And there are some really close to each other, whether that be sometimes they're horizontally close to each other, sometimes they're not necessarily close to each other, but on the map, because it's a two-dimensional top-down map, so there are a couple of times where there are markings that will vertically stack on top of each other, because horizontally there's not much of a distance between them, but vertically they're in totally different locations. Like one will be in a cave and the other one will be on the surface. But it does feel weird to have such a specifically open, unmarked area. This in its own right, just this whole open area, just this alone feels like it would be a place to put something. But I don't see a darn thing out here. Snowy tundra do be like that, though, that is fair. But it certainly doesn't help narrow down where I should or should not be spending my time looking. because some of this design area does feel fairly intentional. Like that ledge doesn't feel like one of those out of bounds sort of areas. Like there's just a tiny bit of a different vibe to the areas that they don't really fully expect people to go, but it's possible to go there. I think of, say, the mountaintops in the Ember Valley. Where it's like, yeah, you technically can get up to the tops of the mountains, but there's not really anything up here to do. And you can sort of feel that. I'm not really getting that sort of vibe from any of these locations, though. I think the only spot that would really be like that is getting on the outside of the ice shell that sort of overshadows this area. That feels like it would be the out of bounds section of this particular area. But I don't know. It just feels like there should be something more here as far as treasure pod disbursement goes. What I wouldn't give for a treasure pod radar right about now. Just something that narrows it down a tiny bit more. Because there really is just this whole open area. And I don't see a single treasure pod. And I don't know if that's because there's a treasure pod on the other sort of plateau that's over there. So they wouldn't want to put one over here as well. I just don't know where else to look. I've looked basically everywhere. Clearly not actually everywhere, because if I had looked everywhere, I would have found it, because it has to be somewhere. Let me get that hydration real quick. Thank you, Bless. It's me every day looking for every little thing. I think my fiance has that sometimes with her glasses. I oftentimes volunteer to locate them, and most of the time I usually find it pretty immediately. Not always, though. Sometimes they'll be in such an unusual spot that it's something I would not have located until I had gotten to a more thorough stage of the search. Can you come look for my AirPods case? Yeah, sure. Can you tell my work that I'm taking a short vacation and also pay for my travel expenses to get out there as compensation for my services? Though I don't know if this is exactly the kind of weather to be traveling in. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, sure. We'll just make it an unofficial impromptu meetup. We'll call it that. Oh no. Yeah, if I was there, I would absolutely help you look for the AirPods case, because I do find stuff like that at work all the time. Just people will just leave an AirPod case in some random seat somewhere. And it's just like, well, I guess I'm turning this into Lost and Found. I hope they know that they lost it and where they lost it. It's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. I mean, yeah, flying probably wouldn't be too terrible as long as the winds and stuff aren't particularly strong at that around that time. With potential bonus fireside chats. Yeah, you never know. Gosh, where could this treasure pod be? I'm at a total loss here. I don't know where else to look. So I was coming over here to double check, but I already saw that there's a treasure pod down here that I got. I already got that one. And I just don't know where else to look at this point. Having a hard time getting outside. I'm doing all the cleaning I didn't want to do in order to host a B-Day party. Yeah, that'll happen. Hopefully it's going all right, and hopefully the birthday party is fun. Oh boy, where do I even look? Where do I even look? Where do I go? We're only missing one treasure pod. It's happening again. Bless, bless, the thing is happening. The thing is happening. It's only one treasure pod. There's only one more. Where is it? Where is it? That's not where it is. Where else? Why was the drone making sound? Hold on. It sounded like the drone was making noise up here. Have I not read this one? Hello? I guess not. Okay, GG drone. These auroral effects here, the ghostly trees and surfaces that materialize at night, are similar to the phenomena inside the labyrinth. And that shouldn't be possible given the current state of the breach. I'm beginning to suspect that the ice shell that remains surrounding this glacier is amplifying the prisma waves, like creating an echo chamber where the effects in the environment are more concentrated. Certainly a plausible theory. This big ice shell definitely could be reflecting stuff back inward. Where have I not looked? That's really the biggest question. Where What am I overlooking? It's not coming to mind right now. I think what I will do is I will head back to the base, because we've been away for a good long time now. I'm gonna go do a quick upkeep cycle here and just let it percolate in my brain for a little bit. Okay, I want to deposit all these plorts in here. I figured I would hang on to these. Put the sun sap in there. Now there is one specific. Oh, we need royal jelly. Ooh. I don't think I have any drones gathering that right now. Yeah, I think I'll wait on that then. I am gonna put the sun sap over here though, just for later. There's a specific reason I'm going for that. It'll be nice having that tank booster upgrade now that we're getting more plorts more regularly. I think it'll mainly help with managing the sheer number of honey plorts I'm gonna have to handle. But being able to hold 70 in a single slot is pretty good. Let's use these on the drone here. That should be fine. Sell the rest of them. What are my other drones doing on energy? Ooh. Yeah, I think we need to do a refuel run as well. Yikes. Those drones need some juice. Let's see, how many of these can we hold? 25 more. Well, that works out perfectly. Drop those in there. Why are these guys so low on food? What have you been doing, buddy? Buddy, you gotta keep the food full. You gotta keep that food full. I like some music? No worries. That's what it's there for. How much space do I have here? Is that like 17 more? I'll just take what I can out of here. So that would be 11. So let's sell down to 59. I'll take the other honey plorts. And I'll make a brief run out to the Rainbow Fields drone here. Just give it a quick refuel. I mean, I say quick. I'm gonna have to load all 70 of these honey plorts into it. Just toss all of these in here. That tabby slime is just spinning over there. I don't know what they're up to. Okay, that's some good refueling there. Yeah, 353, that should be good for a while. Looks like the ones in the Grey Labyrinth need some help too. Hey, which ones are those? Where is that drone? That's right at the beginning of the... Oh, the one in the Starlight Strand. That's what that is. Okay. I was confused for a moment. Like, where is that drone? I hadn't put a third drone in the Grey Labyrinth yet. I do plan to. But we just need a third. We just need another drone to put there. We do not currently have one. Okay. Let's go up here, grab this. Just kind of generally fill it up there. Excuse me. Trying to recycle some of the fruit here. So yeah, fruit is going to be more of a precious resource here, it seems like. Crazy how having more slimes to feed means that there's less spare food. Who would have thought? I guess I better grab these before they all spoil, because it seems like that's what's happening over here. And I can't hold that many honey plorts, so I'll have to come back for it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stop in for upkeep runs a little bit more frequently for the immediate future. I'll just grab as many as I can hold for now. Grab these fruits since they're coming off of the tree anyway. Might as well make sure I get them so I can actually use them later. Let's toss these plorts in here into the refinery. And since I'm full on honey plorts, let's go do another supply run. And the Starlight Strand this time. Grab a bunch of fruit from here as well, since there is definitely an excess. Let's do a quick refuel run of this drone that's out in the Starlight Strand. Been out for 10 minutes, find it. I did not find the treasure pod. I decided that since we've been away from the ranch for a good while, that it would be good for me to... It'd be good for me to take a moment, head back to the ranch, do some upkeep maintenance, and kind of let where I've already explored percolate in my brain. Excuse me. Rude. Getting all up in my face about it. So I figured, rather than being completely stumped about where to check next, thought it would be good for me to go do some other stuff. They were just trying to tell you where the treasure pod is. Oh, hello? Tornadoes? Hold on. Tornadoes? Hey, tar slime, come here. Please survive long enough. No, the tornado is gone. The tornado. The tornado's gone. No, wait. But I need that though. Is there another one nearby? Where'd the tornado go? Oh no. Dang. I was hoping I might be able to tackle one of the achievements just there, but the opportunity did not align. Tragic. Alright, buddy, I'm just gonna carry you with me and we're gonna hope that there's a tornado along the way. If I just cover as much ground as possible, we might find one. Tornado? Tornado? No, no tornado. Oh no, not right now. No way, hold on. No way, dude. No way there's a tornado right now after the tar slime is gone. Good grief. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I need to carry one of each plort type. Are there any tornadoes nearby? Do we have any local tornadoes in my area? There's one. Okay. Feed you this. No, come here. I need you to go there. Yes, okay. We got that achievement. Shoot a tar into a tornado. That's literally all I was trying to do. Mission accomplished. If the opportunity was there, I had to take it. Now we can head back home. That was productive. Got a handful of drift crystals we can put in here too, for what that's worth. Okay, let's keep doing our maintenance cycle over here. I grab the rest of the honey plorts that I couldn't take before. Toss a bunch of fruit into the auto feeder. Once that's as full as I can make it, let's grab the plorts out of here. Check on the other two. This would be a great place to have a market link, by the way. If I just happened to have one of those built or something. Always just a random fruit perched up on top of the music box upgrade, just sitting up there. Well, that's as many honey plorts as I can hold, so I'm just gonna have to leave the rest of them in here. See, there's another one. Just kind of perched up there. Drop these off in the refinery link. Nice, nice. I'm gonna have to come back here in a moment to grab the rest of those honey plorts. I think I'm gonna sell this round of honey plorts. And grab some of these fruits as well. I need more money to make market links and other stuff, of course. Do we have what we need for a market link? Add that to my favorites, just so it's there. I can make one more. I will definitely take it. Please and thank you. So we'll head on out, go grab those remaining honey plorts, and also set up a market link out there. Market link. Boy, this sticks out really far. I think I need to move this over. Just move it out of the way for the moment. I'll set this right there. Then we move the refinery link. Basically right next to it. So that should be helpful. Let's go grab these honey plorts in here since we had an excess that we could not carry. We also got some more fruit while we were out here, so that's pretty good. These honey plorts and the ones I get in the next section are going to be used for the drone that's over there. Real quick, just gonna sweep through, grab some of these fruits. And we'll take care of these guys out here. Y'all got a lot of fruit in here. Recycle some of that. Wouldn't be too bad having a market link over here as well. It's not quite as out of the way as the rock and crystal area. I still have to run out of my way to go sell them. So it could be more convenient. At this point, I feel like I could even get rid of half of these guys. I don't need 4 of each of these slime types anymore. Now that we've had them here for a while, I think we've built up a pretty decent stockpile of their plorts. I could pare that down just to minimize the number of plorts I'm having to manage. Toss these in here. So I already have enough honey plorts to deal with as it is. Get these all sold off here. How much money do we need for the drones? What, 10,000? Oh, only 5,000. We could actually make a new one right now. The question is, where would I want to put that? I'm almost thinking maybe Ember Valley is more important right now as a place to set that up, because I need the oil to make more market links. Okay, the sheer number of honey plorts I'm dealing with right now is absolutely ridiculous. And just this one area, I can't even tackle it in 2 trips. I have to make 3 trips to it. And it's not even completely full. It's a lot of honey plorts to be dealing with. At least we're getting money, right? It's totally fine. Yeah, some fruit would also not go amiss here. Just grab a handful there. Try and keep this filled up here. Yeah, this almost feels like we could use 2 fruit trees in this area. I don't know, I think we're at a point where I just need to be... I think it's just I've been away from the ranch for too long. It can't quite fully keep up all the automation while I'm away. Seems like it only really works 100% properly when I'm making occasional stops into the areas so that they can do what they need to do. Oh, we can make pink glow shrooms. Nice. Oh, we got some amber grass. Okay, okay. Where would I put amber grass? That's an excellent question. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, okay, it's got a wheat-like quality to it. Hold on, this slime's getting a little too close to the ranch there. I don't want no issues. Where would I put wheat? Where will the game let me put wheat? Is probably a better question. Where will I be allowed to place this? I don't know that I really have a good spot in mind for it. That grass. I won't worry about it too much right now. We've still got more upkeep I need to take care of. At least in this direction I have market links in each of the expansions, so that's not going to be a problem. Let's drop these off in here. Sell off all the honey plorts. So now that we're full on honey plorts, we should have a pretty consistent source of money, which is nice. Now we can just sell all of the honey plorts that we're getting. You know, whichever ones I'm not using. To refuel drones, of course. Alright, let's get the I'm thinking once we've maxed out the Yoki slime plorts, I'm thinking when we reach that point, I'll probably pare down to only having the one Yoki slime. And just keeping the chicken population pretty low, just so I don't have to do quite as much maintaining here. Yeah, I know I'm over here cracking eggs. We're still down a rooster, because of course we are. It just seems to be constantly happening. Get all these guys in the corral here. Toss these in the refinery. We are actually doing pretty good on Yoki plorts since we've had them around for a good while. They've been building up. We're 2/3 of the way to a full refinery. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, you see we're almost full on the perfect snowflakes. That's why I swapped them over to working on the slime fossils in the Powderfall Bluffs area. How are we doing on ringtail plorts? Oh, about halfway done. Almost exactly. So yeah, the situation with the fruit right now is mainly because I haven't been on the ranch in a while. Because it's not like the fruit will continuously accumulate forever in the same way that, say, the plorts do. The fruit does eventually perish over time, so it doesn't infinitely stockpile. So if I'm away for a super long time, then I'm falling behind on the feeding process. I found my AirPods case. It's been like 5 months. Whoa, congrats, Bless. AirPods acquired. AirPod case acquired. Very cool. Oh, now I'm torn. Where do I distribute this fruit? Because the fire slimes, they're completely out. Oh boy. Yeah, we're definitely hurting for fruit supply right now. I just need to make more frequent visits to the ranch, I think. Let's give you up to your 60. Excuse me. Pardon me. Does this ranch? Excuse me. This thing didn't have a music box. I just never even noticed. I'd lost the two AirPods in separate locations at separate times and found them again months apart. At that point, I had lost my case. And now they're reunited. Finally together again. At long last. Oh yeah, I forgot I made another discovery. Plorts don't generate ashes. To be fair, I guess I had really never tested them, but I tried tossing some in here. It did not generate ashes for the ash trough. So it's gotta be something non-plort. I don't know if resources like jellystone or things like that would count, but for sure fruits do. Oh, look at this, look at all these puddle plorts. Oh no. I'll clean this up. This is what happens when I spend too long looking for the treasure pods. The ranch starts getting out of hand. How many puddle plorts do I have right now? I'm about halfway. Good golly gracious gravy. Let me get some more of these fruits. I do have Raft. I've played some, but I have definitely not beaten the game. I have seen other people beat the game though. So I do have a general sense of how that is meant to play out. I don't remember how far I got specifically when I played it though, because I was just playing it on my own. Excuse me. Pardon me. I just want to check and make sure this is topped off. Okay. We'll give 7 to each of these. We're not going to talk about the number that it leaves in there. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That's the reason I use a neck thing. They're attached to me when they're not in my ears and I don't have small objects to lose. AirPods are similar and non-starter for me unless I intend to store them in my ears. Yeah, like the Bluetooth headphones that I have, they're like the bone conductors. So they're like an around the back of the head sort of headband. And they sit over the ears. It's kind of like the opposite of sunglasses, I guess. Where instead of wrapping around and sitting on the front of your face, like wrap around the back of your head, but they nestle over the ears in the same way. Those things are pretty nice. And they've been trucking for years of very regular use. Sadly, their battery capacity at this point doesn't quite last through a full work shift. It's pretty close, but not quite a full work shift anymore. But I do have backup earbuds that I can swap in mainly during my breaks. What else should I do here? I think we've done our maintenance pretty well. Look at that. It's already back up to 20. These guys. Where else do I need to restock? that one in the Grey Labyrinth. Okay. What I can do is I'll take the honey plorts that have now built up in the main area here. I'll take those to the Grey Labyrinth real quick. And then I will take a short food break because I have not eaten breakfast yet. Or well, I guess what for me would be breakfast. Considering that my schedule is a little bit offset by the fact that I work second shift. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, we could totally play Raft. Just to wrap that conversation thread. And I don't just leave it completely unaddressed. I've been so wrapped up in the... Oh, you're full. Right. It was kind of pretty, though. I'm not going to risk doing it again, because I don't want that happening. I don't want to cause any issues, or at least invite trouble. I have a neckband that has earbuds that I can pull out and shove in an ear when the phone rings or I want to listen to something. Yeah, I think I've seen stuff like that before. That does seem like a pretty decent sort of middle ground between the two concepts. Yeah, I hear shadow slimes. Little rapscallions. I'm gonna toss all of these plorts in here real quick. And then we'll do this. Whee! Look at it go! Very fun. Into the machine it goes. Wow, more shadow slimes. Okay, we've refueled. Drones should be good to go for a while. I don't think there's really anything else to worry about with them right now. I'm not gonna do any quantum cloud redemptions right now. Should be fine. Trying to think. We have that one treasure pod in the group in the the Powderfall Bluffs. Sorry, my brain is getting ahead of me. I'm trying to think, do we want to go back to Powderfall Bluffs and keep looking for that single treasure pod? Or do I want to go through some of the more obvious blank spot locations in the Grey Labyrinth and see if we can find those shadow plort collectors? Because I do have a handful of spots that are pretty noticeably blank at the Grey Labyrinth. But I'm not sure which ones to go for. Something tells me at this rate, this might not be the last Slime Rancher 2 stream just because of these ding dong dang treasure pods. Which now doesn't really surprise me. But I think we will wrap it up today, one way or another. We'll get things sorted out. But I am going to take a short break because I need to eat something. But I also just need a general bio break overall. So I'm gonna go do that for a little bit. I will be back after the break. Let's look around in the Grey Labyrinth, I think. I do have some spots that seem particularly open to exploration here. There are a few areas that seem barren of markings for port collectors. We do only have 2 more to find here. Across the whole of the Grey Labyrinth, the entire place. So I'm thinking the first place I want to check is the Dreamland area. Specifically the stretch between, there's a plort collector around here. This entire stretch up here all the way toward this cave at the end. This is all completely free of markings. I feel like it's possible they might have something in there. At the very least, I feel like it's worth checking out. Hello, Roaring Charizard. Welcome on in. How you doing? We're just out here looking for those shadow plort collectors. There's only a couple I'm missing at this point. See if we can try and find them here. Which has me thinking maybe I should grab some shadow plorts along the way. If they'll let me. Just kind of grab some of these as we pass through, so that I have something to deposit when we find it. So this was the maze, the little hedge maze area. We had the plort collector that was off to the left over here. We got that. We can definitely grab some more shadow plorts while I'm here, though. Whoa, that one went flying off. I'm not going for too much. I'm not going for too many shadow plorts here. Just getting some together. Seems okay. Could have probably done a little better with that, but it's alright. Set the nullifier down, pick it back up, set the nullifier down. Actually, hold on. Got ourselves another shadow jar here. Might as well make use of it. Get down here. So yeah, this is basically the strategy I take, is just to try and vacuum them back into the area where the items they can make contact with exist. Look at that. Already 28 shadow plorts. Not too Okay, let me see where we're at on the map here. So there's that collector. I want to take a look to the left first. I'm gonna grab these. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of the shadow plorts here just because. We've got a generally enclosed space to kind of work with. Makes it pretty easy to get some more shots here. Scatter shadow plorts all over the place. We'll run into some of them. Working on stuff I procrastinated. That's good, you're working on it. Hopefully it's going well for you. Ooh, some dream bubbles. I need those. Okay, I wanted to check to the left here. Basically anywhere over in this general direction. I want to check and see if there are any shadow plort collectors. That I maybe overlooked. Don't see anything here. Probably check underneath next. Oh, there's one. Well, there you go. It's a decently out of the way little spot there. Let me get over here. I would like to get some elevation, please. Oh, I'm not getting elevation. There we go. Hey, we found one of them. How about that? Oh, and they got some dream bubbles for me here too. Nice. I could use those. We have exactly enough to be able to get the tank booster. We just need 20,000 new bucks as well. But here we go. Here's one of the 2 shadow plort collectors that we didn't already have. Let me take the screenshot real quick, just in case. I still would like to have a record of all of these. That's number 24. Nice. What's this one have in it? Ooh, gold twisted tree. Just bring a little bit of the corruption home with you. For decorative purposes, of course. Gosh, it is wild how much distance I can get with this technique. Pretty wild. Let's see, where else did I want to check? I think the whole stretch of Dreamland leading northwest, I wanted to check that as well. Just to see if there's anything up there. So basically from here, Since there's a floor collectors in there, I think. It's on one of those ledges. There's like a little room you can go into. So I want to check in this direction, basically. Anything that is from here up to here is basically my search area that I'm interested in. Hey, Shadow Jar. I'll take that, thank you. Scatter around some shadow plorts, not too worried about putting all of them out for the maximum benefit. Just want to grab a handful more of these. Try to keep myself somewhat well supplied. Grab some more there. Not too bad, not too bad. See, we got some more dream bubbles here too. Okay, from here up to here. Let's keep our eyes peeled for any of those shadow plort collectors. Don't see anything underneath. We'll take these pogo fruit. Don't see any secret compartments or anything on the outside here. Just normal chickens. Okay. Yeah, seems good. I don't think that has anything. This right here was where we found one of the harmonizer bells, right? Yes, okay. Did I mark anything in here? I don't have anything marked in here. So let me just make sure I'm not missing one on the outskirts or something. Like on the outside edge of the room, maybe. Well, that was a pretty effective shot. Because they were all clustered together, they ran into each other. Worked out pretty well. I think we probably have enough shadow plorts or whatever final plort collector. Yeah, I will say this is a very nice sound. Very meditative and cleansing. Only occasionally disrupted by little slimes jumping around, going like, hee, woohoo! Okay, I don't see any plort collectors in there, but we did grab a bunch more of the shadow plorts, so that was good. I mean, worst case scenario, we know we have enough shadow plorts for literally anything The chicken just drops straight down. Good golly. I was not prepared for that. Falling like a rock. I don't see any secret compartments out here. Yeah, it seems fine out here. I don't see any plort collectors down there. Self-preservation is not #1 priority of chickens, can confirm. Oh yeah, I believe it. I just wasn't expecting him to plummet like a stone in the water. Like he just went straight down at near terminal velocity. I just wasn't ready for him. Hold on. I can get on top of this tree here. I don't remember if there's anything up here. There is not, aside from this chicken nest here, which I suppose is fine. Let's head over this way. See what we can find. Anything going on in here? I don't see anything. That's closed off, so there's nothing to do in that pipe. That looks like it's blocked off as well. I don't think they want people exploring these specific broken pipes. That is fair. Don't see any port collectors around that side. Grab these dream bubbles while I'm here. Have we been in this area? No, we haven't. This is brand new. I definitely would have remembered the stone tornado. Interesting. There's like a whole chain of fans and bumpers here. I think this is for slimes. Do we have any willing participants nearby? Any volunteers for science? Where are all the slimes? Where are they? I guess they don't want to be a part of the experiment. Here. The Slumber slimes probably have an idea of how to navigate this. Because I've never used the bumpers. So let's see what happens when you slime and easy breezy fan. Oh. Points. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder what this is, what they've intended with this room. Points for what? I don't know. Just points. Send some zooming though. Like, I don't know. Slime pinball, I suppose. That's an interesting little room, though. Yeah, I didn't know that there was still another one of those little set piece rooms that we hadn't found yet. That's a cool discovery. Yeah, it's like that. The first shot I took, I tried to send it directly toward the fan. It just seems like it launches the slime directly into the pinball bumper, and then it just kind of goes wherever. I don't know if there's anything more specific to it beyond that. 'Cause it seems like those rooms are mainly... Those types of rooms are little optional standalone set pieces. They don't really provide tangible benefit in the same way. But they're nice little places to be. I haven't seen any other lord collectors or anything. And we're almost to the spot where that one is. Ooh, it's not looking good over here. How about I just avoid all of that? Yeah, that is a party I do not want to be a part of. I think I'm pretty well set on shadow plorts at this point. I mean, sure, if you want to give me a couple more, why not? He's just giving them to me for free. See, we were in here. There's a harmonizer bell in here, right? Oh no, this was the Twilight area. Okay. It was the Aurora tree. It's interesting that they had these set piece rooms so close together. Oh yeah, and tons of shadow slimes show up in here. I'm definitely gonna have more shadow ports than I can carry. Yep. I suppose if they spawn consistently in this room, this would also be a pretty decent place to grab shadow plorts, I suppose. I don't know how long it takes for the shadow slime spawns to reset so that they could spawn again. But that is a pretty decent little area for that purpose. Okay, where else have I not explored? Or where else does not have markings? I'm thinking maybe we work our way back to the center. And then, alright. Right on, dogs on me. I'm thinking we head back toward the center and then maybe scour the Prisma Core containment area approach, just in case they hid one on that path somewhere. I don't remember seeing one on the way there. But maybe I wasn't looking closely enough, especially considering what we were approaching at that point. So I'd say it is definitely worth a second look. So I think this area is pretty reasonable. It'd be pretty reasonable not to have something along the way if the shadow plort collector at the end is kind of the main reason to be there. That sort of is the reward for going through that area alongside the portal, I suppose. Oh, we can get some royal jelly while we're here too. I do want that. Next time we're near a drone, I can do another one of the achievements now too. Alright, I want to head this way, I think. Oh goody. The prismatic disruption is happening out here. Let's see, yeah, I do want to take a look around here just in case I'm overlooking something. Because this is another area that I don't have anything marked for plort collectors. So it would definitely be worth me taking a moment to explore around here. We have been up here before. Is there anything off around to the side? I don't see anything there. I did notice there is this weird little spot down here. And why is this ledge here? What purpose does this ledge serve? I don't see a reason for it being there. At least not specifically. It's allowed to be there. I just don't see the design intention behind it beyond just having a funny little side ledge that you can technically go to. Even if it's not a particularly meaningful ledge to be upon. Okay, I'm gonna say let's go back to the base real quick, so I can get that achievement real fast. Since we're right near a teleporter that I have set up, we can just take care of that real quick and then hop right back in to looking for these, or well, this remaining plort collector. I do want to set up a drone here at some point to collect royal jelly, if I can reach any from that room. I'll set it up wherever I need to. But it does look like dream bubbles would also be helpful. Alright, I need to hold on to one of these royal jellies. I want to grab that sun sap I had stored. Do I have... Let me check. I have to go to a quantum drone. Where's the closest one? Probably this one in the Grey Labyrinth. I need to check my quantum storage or the quantum cloud and see if I have a strange diamond I can retrieve. Do you have... Yes, you do. I withdraw one strange diamond and one lightning mote. That should do it. Nice. Having a strange diamond, sun sap, royal jelly, and lightning mote all in your backpack at the same time gives you an achievement. All that glitters. So we got that taken care of. I just had to wait until I had a royal jelly to work with. I'm trying to think if there are any other immediate, easy achievements to grab. I guess while I'm grabbing things, I could grab some fruits. I could make more drones. I could do that. I think I'm gonna hold off though, because I don't want to spend too much more time setting up infrastructure when we've got a couple more things to find. Just a couple more things. We've literally just got one more of each. One treasure pod, one shadow plort collector. That's it. That's all there is. So let's get back to it here. I want to go down the long and winding road over here. So we had the shadow plort collector that's up in the tower all the way up there. I just want to examine carefully, of course. I carefully examine this path. See if there's any chance of there being a shadow plort collector on this long road here. It would also possibly be worth rechecking this tall room here. That also does not have any markings in it So there might be something there. Get a little bit of elevation here. Try to look around a little bit. You should recheck your tall room. Bless, I don't have a tall room. How can I recheck what isn't there? Alright. What is he doing? Keep throwing ducks at me. Oh, hold on, what is this? What is this funny little area? Just like a little area underneath the bridge, I guess. Okay. Interesting. Cool that that's there. Had me wondering for a moment. I don't see anything underneath this part of the bridge here. So we'll keep on looking over this way. See, I will say I didn't look super carefully around here when we first came through. The hype of the story was taking my full attention at that point. So I certainly didn't check this as thoroughly as I could have, all things considered. Not spotting anything particularly plort collector looking out here. I really don't see anything that stands out here as far as what we're looking for. And the dramatic music kicks in. I feel like maybe they wouldn't put anything quite this close to the Prismacore, just because the whole point of this is to be a cool and dramatic build-up to entering the Prismacore containment. So it's possible they wouldn't want to take away from that by hiding stuff back here. But it could also be the opposite case. Of course, it would be the perfect place to hide something because your attention is drawn elsewhere. But I'm not seeing anything out here. And I don't think there's any shadow plort collectors inside of the Prismacore containment either. That doesn't seem like something they would do. So I think this area is clear. We'll do a little bit more fly around. But I didn't really see anything that looked like a place where they would have tucked away a shadow plort collector. Yeah, I mean, it all seems good. I guess we can head toward the terrarium next. Because as far as map space that doesn't have markings goes, it's like here, and the lead up to the room where we had that tall pillar with the light source on top of it. That doesn't have any markings on it. These surrounding areas have plenty. The only other spot that I haven't seen anything is right here. Right here doesn't have any markings. So I might check that out next. Just like here and here don't have any markings between those two. So this might be worth exploring as well. Just in case. Since we're close to the terrarium anyway, might as well start here. Might as well start with what's immediately accessible. How far up does this take me? Not terribly far. I was trying to see if there's anything on that ledge that had vegetation on it. But I do not see anything up there. So I'm not gonna worry about it. This definitely feels like the type of room where I should do some fly arounds. Look for any hidden crevices off the beaten path here. It's very nice having this large of an energy supply to work with, though. It certainly makes this whole process a lot less terrifying. I'm not nearly as worried about running out of energy for the jetpack and summarily plummeting. Don't see anything around here in terms of shadow plort collectors. That ledge spawns jars, but that's about the only particularly noteworthy thing there. I don't see any spots for plort collectors to hang out, so keep exploring onward. Just make sure I'm keeping track of where I am on the map here. So yeah, basically up to this room, there are no markings, so let me double check these little side areas. Make sure there's not anything back here somewhere, any of crazy prismatic walls or anything. Nope, seems good. I know that here we've got that shortcut. That leads back to the Dreamland area, so we definitely don't need to go there. I don't see anything here. And then that basically just leaves this room. Just make absolutely sure I'm not missing a plort collector in some obscure corner or something. Oh yeah, that seems good. I want to get some height. I can't stand on that, okay. I will go over this way then. Okay, this is about as far up in the room as I can go. I don't know that I can really get myself any further up in here. So I'm thinking with a room like this, it might be for the best to start from the top and work my way downward. There's nothing over here. Just kind of look around the room from the top. I don't see anything in here. I think this room is clear. So I think let's head back to the Starlight Strand Grey Labyrinth entrance. Because there are a few rooms over there that don't have any markings. And I would like to check those out. If we don't find them pretty soon-ish here, because it is getting closer to my end time. Well, I should probably not go for that yet. Since it's getting pretty close to my end time, you know, since I started half an hour late, I wanted to extend the time by a similar amount. So that shouldn't interfere with dinner timing. But if we don't find them somewhat soon, I do think I will take a look at a map just to give me an idea of where they're located. As far as what the two-dimensional map shows, because I don't know if we want to be here for like extending this series out for another stream just because of one treasure pod and one plort collector. I do not think that that is the play. Just doesn't quite make sense to me. So we go on this way, I think. Yeah, that should be the right direction. I would like to check this room, actually. So let me get to the top of the room. There's a lot of chickens in here. Not a crazy amount, but definitely a good number of them. It's not quite at chicken apocalypse levels. But certainly a notable amount of them. Where to look here? Just scouting from above, I don't see anything. No, I don't see any plort collectors in here, so this room should be fine. Move along this way. We already found one in this room, I believe. This is one of the rooms that has... Yeah, we already have one in here. It's mainly that there's a couple of offshoot rooms that I want to check. Real quick, where does that connect to? It goes there. I do want to go through the hallway. Like the proper hallway. Sure. Take the diamond, why not? It's on the way through. Did I go in this nullifier room? Yes, I do recognize the seesaw and the hydro turrets. Yeah, okay. Take that back with me. This area here. Oh, that's a spawn spot. That's why it's there. Okay. Oh, another strange diamond. Sure, I'll take that. No plort collectors in here, though. Yeah, there's nothing there. What other room? I guess this up here was the other room. But it's just this. Nothing to really see there. Well, where else have I not looked? 'Cause that seems like pretty much all, that's like all the obvious areas that I haven't found anything in. So I feel like at this point, considering how close we are to the end of everything, I personally am okay taking a look at where these last two are located as far as the two-dimensional map shows. Because it's not going to be, I'm not going to look up a screenshot of exactly where it is. This is about the most simple compromise I can think of. So I'll just look at a generic treasure pods map for the Powderfall Bluffs, I think, and just cross-reference between the one that I have my markings on. Let's see, where are there markings that I have not done between the two? You're kidding. You're kidding. You're absolute joking. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, one of my hunches was correct, but I guess I didn't look hard enough. Well, let's go. Let's go there first. Because I feel like it's more poetic for me to end the series in the Grey Labyrinth. And then I'll do the rest of what the game has to offer on my own time, because it's mostly other collectibles and such. We've seen the story. This is just the most... It's numeric. we have treasure pods to find. It feels like a more specifically trackable thing. Okay, Powderfall Bluffs. Oh, I'm so curious as to where this is. I only vaguely looked at the map, so I wouldn't... I'm not trying to see like where exactly on the 2D map it is. But it's gonna be so funny. It's gonna be downright hilarious. So, you know how I said earlier that I've been trying to look in areas that don't really have a ton of markings in them already? And I was like, oh yeah, over here toward this part of the map. It's like, I know we already found a treasure pod here, so I guess maybe I could check on this side of things. Maybe there's something there. But I didn't find anything. Well, if this map is to be believed... If this map is to be believed, then I've played myself for a fool. I've played myself for a fool the whole time. There was one over here. But I just didn't find the ledge that it was sitting on. It was just barely out of sight. It's just right there. And that's exactly the thing I was talking about when it's like, it really is just, is it on a random ledge that I just didn't happen to see? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. I got an ice lamp. Very neat, very fun. That is 100% treasure pods now. At least it should be. Just double check real quick. Powderfall Bluffs 24 out of 24. Ember Valley 35 out of 35. Starlight Strand is all good. Rainbow Fields, Conservatory, all good.
Pump it up, kitty.
I'm gonna pump it up as I check the Grey Labyrinth map. We're gonna see where this is. For some reason, the plort collectors, they're referred to as shadow doors. Why shadow doors? I don't know why they call them that. I don't feel like they should be called doors. Meow 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 meow. Going to the Grey Labyrinth again. I'll head back to home base. I'm gonna find where this spot is. I'm not seeing a map for this, that's the thing. I'm not seeing that anyone has put together a map showing these locations in the same way they did for the treasure pods. So I have to do a little bit more sleuthing here. I wonder if this map is up to date. Oh yeah, it does show them. Okay, I found a map. Let me just get this. Where is the... I don't see how to mark these specifically. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, they're mixed in with the other plort doors. So let me just... Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to filter out some noise here then. Let me cross-reference where I have found shadow plort doors, because I have to also... It shows the other plort doors at the same time. Wait, it's missing one of them, I think. One of them is missing from the map. I have a marking somewhere where it doesn't have one marked. But I know for sure that there's one there. Oh, that's very confusing. There's one there? Where is that? What is that location? Huh? What is this place? Well, I guess we're gonna go take a look. 'Cause, huh? Huh? Which teleporter would be closest to that? Let me open up the Grey Labyrinth map here. The only way I know how to do it from the other side. What would be the closest way to get there? I guess Starlight Strand entrance teleporter, maybe? This is silly. If this is where I think it is, or if this is where the map shows it to be, I can hardly wait to see how far out of the way this is from literally everything. If this map marker is to be believed. Yeah, we're gonna take the gray teleporter here. Because I need to check something else too. I need to confirm that that I didn't mark something totally irrelevant somehow. Because there's a marking. There's a marking for a shadow plort door. Yeah, right there. They don't have this marked on their map. Which is weird because it's a super obvious location. How did they not mark that? Seems strange, but that's why I kept my own markings too. Just so I would have some degree of certainty as to where I had already found one. And that certainty is definitely coming in handy right now. Because I know for a fact I can verify all the locations and just make sure that they are where they're supposed to be. Some more dream bubbles, pretty nice. Royal jelly as well. Take that with me. We need to go straight ahead and then face right. So we need to go around this way and then head up here. I think we need to go through that doorway. Is that correct? Yes. This is going to be incredibly silly, isn't it? This location. Because looking at the map, I'm just... Oh. I forgot about the super distant... Man, I forgot about this thing. Just sitting all the way out here all by itself. That explains a lot. I even remember mentioning this the first time we came through, and I just forgot it existed. Now we can clean it up. Back here. It needs a lot of shadow plorts too. There you have it. It is quite out of the way, but it's not hidden per se. It's just in a very out of the way location. You can definitely see something of interest in the distance. And there you go. Yeah, I'm glad I consulted a two-dimensional map for this, because I don't know how long it would have taken me of walking around to think about this area. Oh, clear fountain. Nice. Oh boy. There you have it. All 25 shadow doors. Still don't know why they're called shadow doors. All taken care of. Where was this? It's another one of these. How poetic. We were just here too. Wait a minute. You're joking. I am gonna crash out. I can't look at it anymore. I can't look anymore. If I look anymore, it's gonna make me mad. Oh, I'm get so wangy. Good gravy. Well, I suppose that puts into perspective why they had ledges over there, huh? Turns out there was a design reason for it after all. I was just oblivious to it. Which, like I said, it seemed like the way things would go. It's like, if we don't find it, it's probably because I'm oblivious to some specific thing. And there you have it, both of the remaining ones. It's just some small detail I neglected. We can sell off the other 10 here. But there you have it. That is all the treasure pods, all the shadow doors. Oh boy. Yeah, I think it's safe to say I will not be taking the time to do any more achievement cleanup on the stream here, because it's about ending time here. But we grabbed a few of them along the way. So we kind of did both. But that will officially end the Slime Rancher 2 full release first playthrough. Hopefully, for anyone who comes across this archive in the future, this playthrough will be of some help in terms of understanding one method at least of how to go about handling things, and just giving a general sense of how long it can take to achieve certain goals. I'm sure there are much faster, more efficient ways of doing certain things. Or if you want to, you can take totally different approaches. Such is the beauty of a game like this, where it's very approachable. You really can set your own pace to a pretty large extent in this game. If you want to have tons of slimes all over the ranch and just really crank out plort production, you can do that. If you'd rather gather all of your resources out in the open areas, you could do that too. It's totally viable either way. And it's a very fun game. Monomi Park, you have done an excellent job. I'd say worth the wait. I've had a lot of fun with this game. And I'm definitely going to have to go and listen to the soundtrack on its own as well, because I haven't really listened to the music separate of gameplay. And I think there's some really nice, peaceful music throughout this whole game. And I just haven't really listened to it with a critical ear to just fully appreciate the music for what it is, beyond a very light and gentle backing track to support a very cozy game. So I will have to give that a listen sometime. We listen to it constantly over here. It's my daughter's #1 played soundtrack, and it is very good. I just haven't really taken the time to listen to it outside of the game itself. So I should do that sometime, especially now that I won't accidentally spoil myself on anything, because I've played through the whole story now. So I can do that. Yeah, the vinyl discs do look really nice. It really does seem like the games that go out of their way to have collector vinyls, they do an excellent job with them. You can tell that they're making these things because they are absolutely incredibly passionate about just the aesthetic of the whole experience. Because I think Pseudo Regalia also has a vinyl disc, and the sleeve art for that is insanely good. Like they got some really good art for the vinyl sleeve. And of course, the picture at the center of the disc itself is the V sigil that represents your health in the game. It's just like very good design. I love a good vinyl. They usually do a really good job with the design of them. But that will be it for me for today. I do know what I want to play next, and while I won't give away what it is right now, I will say this. It is a game that I started streaming but never finished. And it's a game that I want to give another shot and actually play through the whole experience. Because I feel like I can do a better job at approaching the game differently now, in a way that will let me see it through to the end. It is not Lost Levels, because stipulation, I have never streamed it. We're not on Lost Levels yet. We'll get into a Mario arc someday, I'm sure. Now, we could do it sometime. 'Cause I'm sure if they have that on like Nintendo Switch Online, right? They have that in the NES collection. Surely wouldn't surprise me if they did. I don't know. I don't think I caught the Game & Nook Lost Levels saga, so I don't know what format Jay was using to play it. But yeah, you know, it's an idea to add to the list of possibilities. I certainly would consider it. But I do know what I want to play next time. It is a game that I have not finished on stream, and I do want to give it another try. That is all I will say for now. Would have been on the Switch. Yeah, I mean, I figure that's probably the simplest way to do it nowadays, at least. Bless, what do you mean Doom? I beat Doom. You never finished Minecraft on stream. I never streamed Minecraft on Twitch, that's for sure. I think I briefly toyed around with early game Tekkit mod Minecraft when I did my brief YouTube streaming. But that did not amount to very much. I was not built for it. I was not built for the Tekkit mod. I didn't really have a clear goal in mind. Minecraft is the kind of game you need to be able to set your own goals. And I was not in that headspace at the time. So it lasted for a few episodes, I guess. But yeah, that will be it for me for today. I'm gonna go get dinner plans figured out. But it's been a lot of fun. I am glad that this game turned out as well as it did. Monomi Park definitely understands their workflow and their work values. Because I think what we got is a very solid follow-up to the original game. Notwithstanding any possible additional expansions they may add in the future, because we did get post-launch updates for Slime Rancher, so you never know. We may be revisiting this game again sometime sooner than we may think. Did you ever finish Hollow Knight or Silksong? Gosh, I wonder if only there was a place that you could go to see if that had been done or not. I wonder. Did I ever finish Hollow Knight? Did I finish Silksong? Perhaps some sleuthing is in order. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be interesting to see how I deal with the game differently this time versus the last time I played it, which, gosh, I don't even remember how long ago it was. It's been years for sure. So anyway, I am gonna go give my brain a break because I can feel it needs a little bit of time to recombobulate after, treasure pods. It always kind of does it to me. But thank you all for being here and hanging out. This has been a lot of fun. Very good game. Very cool story. Love the way it tied into the original. Feel free to, and feel free. I mean, that's what it feels like it needs right now, so. Thank you all for being here and hanging out. And just know that somebody cares about you because I care about you. And until the next stream, take care, everyone.